Hello everyone, and welcome to English Learn Zone, the channel where we make learning English a genuinely enjoyable part of your day. For today's episode, we are going to build on our last lesson. We learned how to talk about ourselves, but what happens when you are with a friend who meets another friend? This is a very common situation, and knowing what to say is the key to being a good friend and a confident English speaker. We're going to learn how to introduce people to each other. It's a simple skill, but it is so important for building social connections and making everyone feel comfortable. We're calling this episode Meet My Friend, your A1-A2 Guide to English Introductions. Imagine this situation. You are walking with your friend, Maria. You see another friend, Alex. You stop to say hello to Alex. Now, Maria and Alex are standing there, looking at each other, waiting for you to speak. This can be an awkward moment if you don't know what to do, but after today, you will handle this situation perfectly. Introducing people is a basic social skill that shows politeness and helps to start new conversations. It's how you connect your world of friends and colleagues together. So today, we're going to learn the essential phrases for making introductions in both formal and informal situations. We'll learn how to introduce one person to another, how to introduce someone to a group, and what to say after you have been introduced. Our journey begins with the most basic and common introduction formula. It's very simple. You use the phrase, "This is ... Let's go back to our situation with Maria and Alex. You are in the middle. The first thing you do is speak to one friend and introduce the other. You would look at Alex and say, "Alex, this is my friend, Maria." You have now told Alex who Maria is. The next step is very important. You must complete the circle. Now, you look at Maria and say, "Maria, this is Alex." Let's look at that structure. Name of person A. This is name of person B. Then, name of person B. This is name of person A. This simple, two-part introduction is the foundation for almost every informal introduction you will make. A slightly more casual way to say this, especially if you are introducing friends your own age, is to use the verb meet. You could say, "Alex, meet Maria." "Maria, this is Alex." It's also very helpful to explain your relationship to the person you are introducing. For example, you can add context like, "Alex, this is my friend, Maria." Or, "Alex, this is my classmate, Maria." Or, "Alex, this is my coworker, Maria." The words, friend, classmate, and coworker help the two people understand how you know each other, which gives them something to talk about. Now, after you have made the introduction, the two people who are meeting for the first time will usually say something to each other. The most common and polite phrase is, "It's nice to meet you." So, Alex might say to Maria, "It's nice to meet you, Maria." Maria would then reply, "It's nice to meet you, too, Alex." The word "to" at the end is very important. It means also. Other variations of this phrase include, "It's a pleasure to meet you," which is a little more formal and very polite. Another one is, "I'm pleased to meet you." This is a great moment for our first learning check to review these essential phrases. Okay, listeners, here is your first question. What is the simple, two-part formula for introducing two friends, Alex and Maria? First you say, "Alex, this is Maria." Then you say, "Maria, this is Alex." Perfect. And question number 2, what is a very common and polite phrase to say when you meet someone for the first time? A common and polite phrase is, "It's nice to meet you." Excellent. Now that we have the basic introduction down, let's talk about how to make the introduction even better by giving a little more information. A good introduction helps the two new people start a conversation. After you say their names, you can add a small, interesting detail about each person. This is called giving context. You could mention their job. For example, "Alex, this is my friend Maria. She's a doctor." Then Maria, "This is Alex. He's a graphic designer." Now, Alex and Maria have something to talk about. Maria can ask Alex, "Oh, a graphic designer. That's interesting. What kind of things do you design?" You could also mention where they are from. "Alex, this is Maria. She's from Italy." Then Maria, "This is Alex. He's from Canada." Now, they can ask questions about each other's home countries. Another great way to connect people is by mentioning a shared hobby or interest. If you know that both of your friends enjoy hiking, you can use that to create an instant connection. You could say, "Alex, this is Maria. She loves hiking. Just like you." This is a wonderful gift to your friends, as it gives them an immediate topic of conversation. Let's talk about the difference between formal and informal introductions. The language you use can change depending on the situation. In an informal situation, with friends or family, you can use the phrases we've learned, like "this is ... double quotes, or meet ... double quotes in a formal situation. Like at work, or when introducing someone to an older person, you might use more formal language. A very polite informal phrase is, I'd like to introduce you to, ... double quotes. For example, if you are introducing your friend to your professor, you could say, Professor Smith, I'd like to introduce you to my friend, David. Then you would turn to your friend and say, David, this is my professor, Professor Smith. Notice that in formal situations, we often use titles like Professor, Doctor, Mr., or Ms., followed by the last name. Another formal phrase is, may I introduce, ... double quotes. For example, Ms. Jones, may I introduce my colleague, Mr. Tanaka. When you are introduced in a formal setting, the response is often a little more formal as well. Instead of nice to meet you, you might say, it's a pleasure to meet you, or, how do you do, is a very formal greeting, and the correct response is simply to repeat the question back. How do you do? Let's discuss how to introduce one person to a group of people. This can seem difficult, but there is a simple method. You should always introduce the newcomer to the group first. Then, you introduce the group to the newcomer. For example, imagine you are arriving at a party with your friend, Sarah. You would get the attention of the group and say, everyone, this is my friend, Sarah. Then, you would turn to Sarah and introduce the individuals in the group. You can go around the circle. Sarah, this is Tom, this is Lisa, and this is Ben. It's helpful to point to each person as you say their name. This has been a lot of new information. It seems like a perfect time for our next learning check. Okay, listeners, here is question number 3. What is a polite and formal phrase you can use to introduce someone in a business setting? A formal phrase is, I'd like to introduce you to, ... double quotes, or may I introduce ... double quotes. Excellent. And question number 4. When you introduce one person to a group, who do you introduce first? You introduce the one new person to the group first. Perfect. Now let's talk about something that happens to all of us. Forgetting someone's name. It can be an embarrassing moment, but there are polite ways to handle it. If you are introducing to people and you suddenly cannot remember one of their names, the best thing to do is be honest and polite. You can turn to the person whose name you've forgotten and say with a smile, I'm so sorry, your name has just slipped my mind. Or more directly, please forgive me, could you tell me your name again? People are usually very understanding. If you are the one being introduced and you didn't hear the other person's name clearly, you can ask them to repeat it. A polite way to do this is to say, I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name. This is a much better approach than just guessing or avoiding using their name for the rest of the conversation. Now, let's put everything we've learned into practice with a few example scenarios. Scenario 1. An informal introduction at a park. You are with your friend David, you see your other friend, Emily. You would say, Hi Emily, how are you Emily? I'm great, good to see you, who's this? You, Emily, this is my friend, David. We play on the same soccer team. David, this is Emily. We went to school together. Emily to David. Hi David, it's nice to meet you. So you play soccer? David to Emily. Nice to meet you, too. Yes, I do. Do you play any sports? And just like that, a new conversation has begun. Scenario 2. A formal introduction at a work event. You are with your manager, Ms. Evans. You want to introduce her to a new client, Mr. Chen Yu. Ms. Evans, I'd like to introduce you to Mr. Chen from the XYZ Corporation. Mr. Chen is the new project lead we'll be working with. You too, Mr. Chen. Mr. Chen, this is our department manager. Ms. Evans, to Mr. Chen. Mr. Chen, it's a pleasure to meet you. We are very excited to be working with your team. Mr. Chen to Ms. Evans. The pleasure is all mine. Ms. Evans, I've heard great things about your work. Notice the use of formal titles and polite phrases. What an incredible journey, from a simple introduction to handling formal and group situations. Let's do a final rapid-fire recap of all the amazing vocabulary and phrases we've covered today. This is my friend, meet my friend, classmate, coworker, it's nice to meet you, it's a pleasure to meet you, how do you do? I'd like to introduce you to ... May I introduce ... I didn't catch your name has slipped my mind. Wow, that is a full toolkit for your next social gathering. I sincerely hope that breaking these phrases down has helped you feel more confident and prepared to introduce people in English. That is always our goal here at the English Learn Zone.